Hello, I'm going to show you today how to make a frame for a cube Mugshotz that holds 3 mugshot graphics on there. And first thing I want to show you is the parts that we use. We have 8 of these, which are 3-way connectors. As you can see, there's 3 ways, and you'll see how I install them as we get going. There's 8 of those. We also have 8 of the short pipes. These 8 are going to go around the top square and the bottom square. And then we have 4 of the longer pipes. These are going to go around the 4 sides. Something I'm going to show you right now, early on, is this. This is a zip tie. This is used on all of the Mugshotz. It holds them in place. This is unique because it has a releasable little button there. I don't know if you can see that, but it pushes right there, which is different than the zip ties that we're familiar with where you have to cut it off because it doesn't come apart. Well, you push on this and it comes right apart. So you can use these over and over again. So, now that we've got that going, I'm going to get started on putting together the frame. And it's just a matter of putting all of the pipes together. You want to make sure that these are all going in the same direction. Because the pipe is going to connect over on that side and then over on this side as well. So now we have that side, and we're just going to go ahead and put this one here, and we're almost done with the bottom. And there we go. Now we have the bottom. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and get started with the top, or the sides. These just simply go right in like that. And we're not securing them too much at this point. We just want to kind of put together the puzzle, kind of like a Lego set. And so now we have all the sides, so we're good there. Now we're going to go ahead and do the top. Pretty much the same as we did before. Just put that on top, and then all of these on each corner. And you want to obviously make sure that the holes are facing each other. And then once all of those are connected up, then we'll put all of these on. So there we go. Now we want to go ahead and get these guys connected all along the top. And come on, get in there. Now sometimes people like to have these things secured so that they don't have to take them apart. And when you do that, you basically use the PVC glue that you can put on the ends, but it will make sure that they never come apart. It makes them a little more bulky because they're always going to stay in the cube frame configuration. I like to just put them together like this without making them permanent so that I can take them apart and actually have them stored up for travel and things like that. So anyway, here we go. We got our cube together, and I'm just kind of pulling all the parts together a little bit, making sure that it's secure, pushing down, making sure these pipes are in there okay, and there we go. And then of course across here, I kind of pull these together, and there we go. So now we're pretty secure. Now we're ready for the graphics. Now the graphics are going to be using the releasable zip ties like I showed you before. First thing we're going to do is to make sure that we get the graphic on the right side up. So for this mermaid, we've got 2 on the top corner. So we're going to start off with this one here. Get that guy hanging. So we got less of a hassle kind of moving it around. Once it's hanging there, then you can kind of take your time and securing all the sides. So, let me kind of move this around so you can see how this works. Every one of these zip ties, they have to come in from the white side. So you want to make sure they come in from the white side. That is because when you have this little excess, we want it to come around the back. We want the excess to be around the back, not pointing in the front. So there's an idea that I figured out, and I'm just letting you know, so that'll save you a lot of hassle. And then we just got a couple of these guys around the corner bottom. Once we have all of these connected, we can kind of adjust it to make it a little bit more a little bit more, less loose, I guess. Okay, so we're pretty much done on the top here. We'll come back over and kind of tighten that up a little bit. But right now, we're just about done. And again, like I said, we want to make sure that these things come around the back so that the excess is pointing in the back. Now, I don't know if you can see this or not, but when you pull it tight enough, you can always move the zip ties so that the excess that's coming off the end of it kind of points up, because we would rather not have it pointing out this way. Okay, so there we go, and then we're just going to kind of tighten these up a little bit. There we go. So now it's not very loose, which we want it to be kind of tight. That way when you put your head in there, you don't have an issue with it being too loose. Okay, well, I think we've got that. So one more here. It looks like the bottom's a little loose, so I'm going to tighten that up, and there we go. That tightens it up all nice, and we're good. So you can see there we've got one going. We got the mermaid. We're going to grab the other one here. Make sure we do it right side up. And as you can see, we got a surfer on this one. So we're going to move that around, come in behind here and do exactly what we did before. Just kind of release the zip ties. And then I'm going to go ahead and put this one on and this one on, and then I'll come back to show you after we get those on. Okay, we're back. I now have completed all three sides of the cube frame configuration. So you can see this is all ready to go with three different graphics, and then one opening obviously for people to go inside. Now sometimes, unfortunately, when people use these, they don't stick their head all the way through. As you can see here, I have a little explanation of how exactly to do it so that they get the full effect of the Mugshotz. And I also have on the inside here a little helpful diagram so that they know how to use this. And a quick little demonstration, excuse me, would be to not go like this, but to actually put your head all the way in so that your hair and ears and everything is showing. That's the proper way to use the Mugshotz. So anyway, now that we have this all put together and you can see how it works, I'm going to go ahead and tear it down so you can see how quickly it does come apart. We're basically just going to do the same thing we did before, but in reverse. Just take each of the zip ties and just take them down. There we go. Okay, I've taken apart two of the, as you can see down here in the corner, two of the graphics. I have one more to go here. And once I have all the graphics off, what I'll do basically is take the frame apart. So what we want to do is leave the top one on here so it's hanging, and then just go around and take off every single one of these zip ties. And then once we have all the other ones done, we'll come back and do the top ones. So it doesn't take long at all. Just kind of push the little button there, move them across, push it through. Same with the two. And another thing I want to make sure to let you know of is I leave the zip ties in all of the little grommet holes so that you don't lose them. It's always better to have them there than to put them aside somewhere and then possibly not have enough of them for the next event or a time that you set them up. So anyway, I would keep them in the holes like that. So anyway, we have everything done here. Now we're just going to finish off the very top so that we can go ahead and take these down and roll them up. And we'll just put it right next to the other two graphics that we have right there. Okay, so I like to roll them up so that the actual graphic, the color, is showing, because that way you kind of get an idea of which one it is. So a lot of people have preferences, the surfer or the bikini girl or the mermaid. This way you can kind of see what it is, and it's not a mystery because it's all rolled up and you only see the white. So this one here, you can tell it's a surfer. Okay, so I'm going to set that here, and now we're going to take this apart. Sometimes it's a little difficult, but it's usually not too bad. You can usually hand do it, if you haven't glued it together. So you can see here, this one came right off. If I come across some that actually are a little tougher, I might use the little rubber mallet, but for the most part, it's pretty easy. So let's see, this one comes out, that's looking good. And let's put that one over there. This one here comes out. Here's the three-way, I'll kind of put that there. And I usually stand on it and kind of move it a little bit. Looks like we might not need the mallet. Oh, well maybe we do. So let's go ahead and grab this. I'll give you a demonstration of how the mallet works. It's not rocket science. Just kind of tap it. Boom, there you go. So we're getting close to having the whole thing torn down. There we go. There we go. This is one of the taller ones, so we want to kind of set that aside. Okay, we're just about done. We've got 4 of the 3 ways. And we should have another 4 down here, of course. So that comes apart. That comes apart. That comes apart. And then just taking all the 3-way connectors off. We're almost ready to have it back to where we started. Here we go. And then all of these, this whole little configuration here, all these parts, they turn into that big cube. So if we can get a box, usually not too big of a box. When I ship them out, I have them in a box that you can put them in there and take them to events and store them. So anyway, just know that basically all of this fits into a nice little storage area. And so I'm going to go ahead and leave it like this so that you know, again, how the cube size or style Mugshotz works. And then now I'm going to go ahead and set up a single so you can get an idea of how that works. Okay, I'm going to be showing you how to put together a Mugshotz single, which is like this, different than the cube size that has 3 of them. This one is just a single that has a base on it that holds the graphic. I'm going to put together an adult size. I have 3 sizes. I have the adult size, I have the kid size, and I have the toddler size. So these are the 3 sizes that are available. I want to make sure that you know all of them are put together the exact same way, whether it's an adult size, or a kid size, or a toddler size. The same principle applies to all of them. So I'm going to go ahead and put together a single frame to hold 1 graphic. These are some of the parts that are needed. We have 2 of these. Now this is a 3-way, the same type that I used with the cube size, but there's a little pipe on the top here, and this pipe, you'll see what it's used for. But we have 2 of these. We also have 2 of these. They're like a T, and as you can see, there's just 2 of them, and it's got 3 holes. And then of course, the elbow. We got 4 of these elbows. So that's really all we need as far as connectors. We have 4 of the small pipes that are going to be around the bottom. It's going to be like this, where it is actually the foundation that sits on the ground. And then we have the side pipes, 2 side pipes, and then the 2 top and bottom pipes. So let's go ahead and get started. First of all, we want to go ahead and put together the foundation that's on the ground. And the way we do that, we're going to make a square. And the elbow connects on one corner, and then this is going to be on the other corner. And then you're going to see what that little part is for coming up shortly. But you could probably guess that we're going to have 1 more elbow, and that's right here. So now we have ourselves the frame for the bottom, actually. And then we just push it together, make sure it's kind of secure, and there we go. Okay, now this, the T, is going to be going on top of here with the hole facing the other side and the other hole going up. So that one goes in, and you want to kind of make sure that it's pointed in that direction. And then you can see that one over there. We want to point this hole in that direction as well. Now, this is going to hold the bottom of the frame that actually holds the graphic. So we just kind of stick that in there. And then this one here just kind of sticks in here. There we go. And what I do is I kind of move up like this and push down. And it kind of goes in nice and snug. So now we have that, our foundation that sits on the floor. And then we've got, this is going to go on the top. So this way, we're going to go ahead. And you can see why that little thing in the middle was there, so that this T can sit right on there. So you always want to make sure you have this little part right here that connects the T with the three-way. All right, so let's go ahead and stick this down there. We got the sides of the single. And then the last is the elbows at the top. It'll hold this in like this. So now we're ready for the top. And this just goes in like this. Well, I think that takes only maybe a minute or two. So now we got it together. So there is our frame. Now, it's great for indoor. If there's no wind, this is no problem. When I put the graphic on there, a little bit of wind, it's going to kind of move back and forth. So at the end, I'll show you how to put a little bit of an anchor on there so that it can handle some wind outside. If it's really windy, the Mugshots aren't probably going to be feasible. But if there's a little bit of wind, the anchors can hold it down, so you should still be able to put them up and have people have fun with them. So anyway, here is how we put the actual graphic on. It's very similar to the way that we put the graphics on the cube sides. Basically just want to take the first zip tie and hang it up at the top here. Don't worry about the other one yet. Just get both sides hanging on here, and then we can kind of slowly work our way around. And again, the zip tie has that little button here that you push. That's like a little tab. It pulls out and pulls in. You don't have to worry about cutting it off. These are reusable. So now we're going to go ahead and see if we can get all the zip ties all around here. And that only takes probably a few seconds. And I also wanted to reiterate again that when you put these on, you want to make sure that the zip tie goes into the hole from the back, from the white side, because that way the excess that comes off when it's connected will be coming up around the back. And we want that. So here you can see the excess. Once it goes through, it's around the back. Okay, so I won't tighten these up yet until I actually have all of them connected. Once they're all connected, I can kind of adjust them so that the graphic is nice and taut and isn't loose, and it looks like it's just like a piece of wood with a painting on it. But it's obviously a lot more forgiving than some of those older kind of carnival cutouts where you stick your head in and bang up against it. So we are just about done with the graphic, and as you can see, we're doing a muscle man. Okay, so it's a little loose here, which means we're going to tighten that up a little bit. And then this here is going to move over this way, and we're going to get this guy tightened up. There we go. There, and nice. Okay. Now, occasionally, you might want to tighten it up a little bit more on the top, so there may be a hole at the top. So whenever you need to put something in there, that's fine. But sometimes you don't need to. You just kind of adjust them as you go along. That way you can make them not wrinkly. Okay, well, let me see. Maybe a little bit more tighter at the bottom here. There. And then a little bit tighter at the bottom here. And I think we're going to have it completed. Yeah, all right. And also here, these can kind of move so that the excess doesn't stick out. It's always nice to have it kind of close to the actual graphic here so that you don't have to see that stuff sticking out. Here's one here that's sticking out. You just turn it like that, and there we go. Okay, well there we go. We have a graphic ready to go. And something I also wanted to show is I actually have these available so people can read these things and they can see, hey, this is the way it's used. As you can see here, I have an explanation of how Mugshots is supposed to be used. You do not use it the way the old-fashioned ones are used. What you do not do is just stick your face like this. Sure, that's kind of fun, but it's not nearly as great as it could be. You want to put your head down, stick it all the way through, and there you go. You got your face and your ears. You can look around. It just brings it to life. So hopefully your customers will realize this is the way you're supposed to do it. It's really a lot of fun. Okay, and then bottom line is it comes apart the exact same way. Want to go ahead and leave the top one connected so that it'll hang there until you got all the other ones off. And again, don't take the zip ties out of the hole. You want to make sure that they stay there so that you don't lose them. And they roll up fairly well, even with the ties in there. So we're going to go ahead and get another one off here. And let's see. And again, also, this comes apart. The frames come apart. If you do want to glue them together with PVC glue, that's fine. That's your personal preference. But like I said, I like to tear them down and put them in a compact storage. But it's personal preference, whatever way you like to do it. And we're almost done here with all the little zip ties. And then once we have everything done here, I'm just going to put it right back in the area where it was so you can see how compact it turns out to be. Alright, so there we go. We've got everything done as far as the zip ties. Okay. And now we'll start working on the frame. We want to just do the opposite of what we did before. Of course, we want to kind of roll this up. And then when I roll this up, like I had said before, you want to have the color on shown so that you can kind of get an idea of which mugshot it is, what the graphic is. This one here, you kind of get an idea, okay, this is the muscle man. So I just put that right here aside. And then now we're going to go ahead and put together, or take apart, this guy, which is the same way we did it before, only in reverse. So we take that down. We got our side pipe. Here, same thing, side pipe. A couple of elbows. And we're going to go like this. And again, sometimes it's a little tight, so that's when we use the mallet. And that works just fine. Once one comes out, the next comes out just fine. Okay. And this middle one comes out. Now when you're actually out there, you can put these things together pretty quickly. So if you have an event and you want to set up quite a few of these, there shouldn't be any problem. I would say maybe, I don't know, maybe about 3 or 4 of the singles and maybe even 3 or 4 of the cubes can be set up definitely within 20-30 minutes. Okay, so either way we have everything all kind of compact the way we started. We've got the three-way with the connector. And then sometimes this might come out, which is okay. We just make sure that it either fits into the T or here, because that's where it's going to come together when you start putting it together. Okay, so there we go. Now the last thing I'm going to show you is how to weigh these down. For instance, it works the same for a single or for a cube. What I've done, and I found that it works just fine, is I just get a brick. I prefer a square one. And what it does is it just kind of fits right into the corner. And you can just kind of tie right in here. And then it holds it down so it doesn't blow away. It works just fine also for these here, which are the cube side. You just put the little square brick right in the corner there. You just bring this up around here and just tie it down, and then there you go. So it's basically going to weigh it down to where the wind won't blow it around. And that's about it. I hope that that was helpful for you to see how you put together a cube Mugshotz and a single Mugshotz. And I guarantee you lots of happiness, laughter, joy. These things are a blast. Thanks again.